Garage pun masuk juga. I thought it's supposed to be Deepavali night. Kemain. Okay. Okay, wait for few other. Sambil tu I nak. Yalah, Deepavali night kan. I thought I got dinner or something. Alright. Deepavali is tomorrow. Then tomorrow no class Tomorrow no class because Deepavali. So, there are two things. Number one is kalau apa? First of all, we have to respect lah. Some of our friends might want to visit or something. Number two is sometimes it got error tau. Right? Last time it happened. I do class on public holiday and then I cannot log in. And then nobody is there to help, right? Because everyone is on leave. So tomorrow no class, but right, normally I owe you 3 class. So the last class will be next Monday. So next Monday you have class, right? So that we can wrap it up, right? If not, have to wait lambat sangat kan. So next Monday last class, which is still on AWS. Okay, sambil tu, alright. While waiting for I think few others. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I actually doing my account. Okay, while waiting for others, while I'm doing my account as well, make sure that you have the username and password that I give you last time. So long before the break, I give you a username, a password to AWS because we are going to do AWS today. Last time we do the theory part. Today 100% practical. So make sure you have the username and password, right? If you don't remember, you let me know now so that I can do the account for you. I can reset your things, but try. I already shared the link as well, right? I already shared the link as well to open AWS console, right? If you forget, you let me know as well. So not okay. So you just let me know. But I'm doing account. This morning I have morning class. Tak sempat buat account. Kesian orang tak dapat gaji. Deepavali no gaji. Okay, so
Sir, saya kalau terlupa macam mana Sir?
Kalau terlupa saya kena bagi tahu lah. Takkanlah lupa password.
Saya tak sure saya ada buat ke tak.
Let me see now. Kalau terlupa kena buat lah, right? Kalau terlupa kena buat.
Just create AWS account je Sir.
No, you use my account. I already shared my account to you kan. So just use my account. If not, you have to kalau apa takut you kena bayar. Just use my account. Alright. Let me see. If you forget, okay, this is your name. Alright, so your username is this Walid, Raj, Kesavan, Joel, Faiz, Diana and Daniel. This is the account. Siapa yang anyone here don't have an account because I did it. So we say Raj, Daniel, Joel. Alright, Raj, Daniel, Walid, Faiz, Kesavan. Alright. So this is your username.
So pilih I am user
Apa?
Pilih I am user Masa nak sign in.
Masa nak login, actually no, you login using the URL. You log in using, you have a special, anyone has a special URL? Anyone has a special, the special URL, the 123 something? Anyone has the URL to log in on?
Yeah.
Kalau you have to log in using that. You have to log in there. Daniel ada, because Daniel just log in 2 minutes ago. Faiz pun ada. Alright, so Faiz, can you share, or Daniel, can you share the URL to everyone? I also, if not, I have to see. Satu dua, I think is ni. 1 2 3 kot. 1 2 3 2.
Tengah mencari sir.
You dah login? Tu yang pelik.
Saya ada reply dalam thread.
Oh, you okay, reply dalam thread. Thread tu lah cakap, thread tu je pelik sikit kan.
Saya login main website je.
Oh. So password apa sah?
Password saya tak tahu. You, sebab saya suruh you saya suruh you reset password. Saya rasa password asal dia ABCD 1 2 3 4.
Oh, okay. So, tak dapat ABCD 1 2 3 4.
Wait, if not I need for you. Nampak? Saya pun tak tahu macam mana. Oh, ni kan console password manage. Try sekali lagi. ABCD 1 2 3 4. Tapi after this you kena ni. That's all. Right. Just ABCD 1 2 3 4. ABCD 1 2 3 4 A besar. But I put you need to you need to sign in after this. You need to change password after this. Make sure you change to something that is not password, because as I mentioned, my account get hacked last time because somebody put password as password.
Sir.
Kenapa you letak password
Tak ada, bukan. Tergelak saya dengar.
So make sure ni
Okay, saya dah boleh.
Boleh So the others no problem as well The others just make sure that you have no problem. Let me check the slide as well. Lecture oh ni dia buat kat sini. Yang ni ke? Okay, correct this one. Betul lah yang this one. Okay, lab cloud computing. Boleh lah ni AWS recap. Alright, name the following service in AWS. So memang betul-betul recap ni, right? Because we have been doing it for 1 week. So it's really a recap. Okay. So what is a server in AWS? Which service you should look for if you want to use AWS? For example, after this, I want you to create a server.
S3 kot.
S3 bukan. Ni dah fail lah ni exam. Exam AWS certified. That's the easiest question. This is the easiest question that you could get.
Cloud.
Ha?
Kalau cloud?
Bukan. The service in AWS. Macam mana ni? You cannot take exam lah.
Elastic kot.
Elastic bukan.
Light cell.
Ha?
Light cell ke?
Bukan. Semua main tembak je ni. Anyone? Boleh check notes. EC2. Terus sangat ni. Alright, EC2. EC2. So that's the topic, our first topic of today. Database, relational and non-relational. What is services? Database. Can you remember, right? Ni seminggu I go holiday, you guys pun go holiday. Not I go holiday, I go work. You guys also go holiday, right? So that's why holiday normally you're supposed to sometimes you see I teach too fast and everything. This is where you should recap, right? Recap the video or everything. Okay? So if you look at the notes, right? If you look, some of the type of question that you have is something like this. If you remember, which of the following, right? Perform administration. Which of the following, right? So these are some. Which of the following, right? Is to cause apa the to store storage, but lowest cost. Right, so this kind of question, which of these is a CDN? Right, so even I have one question here, which one is a CDN? So CDN is memang lupa habis ni, right? Everyone forget, 100% forget. Anyone knows anything from here? If anyone knows anything from here, can put on chat.
CDS.
CDN.
Oh.
Anyone know everything? Siapa tahu jawab apa?
CloudFront.
CloudFront, CDN, CloudFront. CDN, CloudFront. Database, relational and non-relational.
S3 atau Malaysia tak pastilah.
No, dua-dua salah. S3
Dua-dua
atau like say, dua-dua salah. So tak ada satu yang kena. So dia tahu S3 apa? So S3 apa? So CDN is that relational is RDS. The name also have relational database storage. So relational is RDS. Non-relational
DynamoDB.
DynamoDB. Tahu ke di Google?
Tengok notes.
Tengok notes. Non-relational DynamoDB. Right. Object storage.
Glacier.
Ha?
Glacier bukan?
Bukan. Object storage.
Alah.
Tadi sebut-sebut sangat. Macam mana ni how to take exam? Anyone interested to take AWS exam? This is it. I already shared. That's what I said. Cuti kan patut. Cuti patut you watch this kind of exam. This kind of video. Right, so
Organize this account.
everyone,
So
right, you see all these topics, all right, all the topics that we covered last week is part of the exam, right? All these are the part of the exam. Okay.
S3 lah.
S3 lah, that's why you cakap sebut-sebut S3 but you don't really know what S3 is.
Mau baca nota.
Tadi kau menembak, apa tu kau tak tahu benda tu apa. So this one is CloudFront. Why the answer is not updated? I forgot to do ni. EC2, alright, so this one relational. Relational is RDS. Non-relational is DynamoDB. CDN is CloudFront. Object storage is S3. Kan I cakap, I already tell you, S3 ni je macam it's like Dropbox or it's like Google Cloud, Google Drive for anything. So that's the load balancer. Alright, load balancer. Okay, maybe this one I have not covered. Alright, maybe this one I have not covered. It's ELB, elastic beanstalk. It's ELB, elastic load balance. And then DNS management. Yeah, elastic load balance is even there, right? So you see, benda-benda ni semua part of the things that might come on the exam, alright? All these things. So if you're interested, but AWS exam ni dia laku tau. So that's why ni if you are interested, you can watch it. Last one. Ada dalam notes tak? Mustahil. Impossible. I don't teach you. Route 53. Ada dalam tu, Route 53.
Saya Google jumpa Route 53 lah.
Yeah, Google jumpa. But dalam tu I think you have impossible I don't see. Impossible I don't talk about it, right? Impossible I don't talk about it, right? No lah, even if that, right? Even if I don't talk about it for sure. Dia semuanya ada dalam nota kan. So elastic beans ada Route 53. Route 53. Impossible tak buat, impossible tak buat. Alright, so it's okay. Alright, so again, well, you are lucky. Besok cuti, alright. You are lucky besok cuti. So why not? Alright, why not spend times? Alright, why not spend times? Because I'm going to give you the free account for 2 weeks. Alright, after 2 weeks, then that's it. I close my account. You can do whatever that you want. With I even tell you, and you can do whatever that you want with the account because my thing expired this month. So you can play around. If not, after this, if you want to try, you have to play by yourself. You have to pay by yourself. All right. So if you want, I suggest you watch video and then try it and everything. Okay, so in this exercise, all right, we will start by creating an EC2 first. All right, so in this exercise, we will start by creating a server first and EC2. All right. So one of the important part also is these questions. All right. So I don't want to tanya you balik. I don't want to ask you back, but later you will see that I will throw some of the vocabulary from these pages. Right. Later you will see some of the vocabulary I will throw it from you. All right. So you go into AWS console. So I hope all of you are already logged in. Right, after you log in, you're going to EC2, right? Either it's there or you can always search it here. EC2, and then you can open EC2. Right? I was talking about the zone last time, all right? So you remember AWS has a lot of zone around the world, right? The closest to ours is Singapore. So on the top right, you should see Singapore here. I would like to request everyone, if you are not in Singapore, please change it to Singapore. Right? I would like to request, if you are not in Singapore, please change it to Singapore because so that it's easier. Later, right after class or after 2 weeks, I can just look at Singapore. Okay, I can see that already. I can see that these are the server that you have opened, and then no problem. Then I don't need to worry about it. Right? Sometimes, and if you put on the Ohio, I tak perasan pun. Right? I didn't notice that student use my account to create a server, but he put on Ohio. Right? So if you change, everyone change to Singapore, then I just need to check on this account. Right? I don't need to check it somewhere else. All right, so now once I am on Singapore, I'm sure I go to create a new. All right, go to Singapore, AWS. All right, top right of the console. Right. So create a new EC2 micro instance. So you're going to do launch instance here. Right, you're going to do launch instance here. And then you're going to see all this, right? You will see all this PC, all these things over there. Remember, right? Do you remember, right? So everything that I teach you on the first week, today you will put it in practice, right? Whatever that I teach you on first week, and then the one that I ask you to do on data camp. All right, today is the practice part as well. All right, do you remember about Linux? When we discuss about Linux, we talk about Linux and the distribution. What are example of Linux distribution? Ubuntu is one. What else?
Pop OS.
Huh?
Pop OS.
Pop OS, right? Pop OS. What else? Canggih sangat. What else?
Mint, Linux Mint.
Linux?
Mint.
How to spell it?
MIN, Mint. Dia macam gula.
I don't know, maybe, yeah. So you have Fedora, right? You have Fedora, and then you have what else? You have Red Hat, all right? And then you have SUSE, right? So, what is Sheldon Cooper's favorite Linux distribution?
Ubuntu.
Ubuntu, right? Okay lah, diorang tengok kan. I thought I'm the only one who know this joke, but somebody watch it.
Guys, the Linux Kali is not included, is it?
Linux Kali have as well. Linux Kali is part of Linux distribution, but I think it's not there. I think it's not by default. Right? If it's not by default, actually there is another option. You can always look it at the marketplace. Right? You can always look it here. So this one is this is official. All right, this is official. Whatever that you saw on the first page is official. Whatever that you don't saw from the first page is actually you have to find it inside the marketplace. Marketplace is sometimes paid, sometimes free. Okay, so these are all the some of the example of distribution. All right, some of the example of the distribution. But my recommendation is, all right, to always to try to start with Linux 2 AMI, to use this. So this is actually official, right? Official by AWS. The reason why I recommend this is because every time you saw a tutorial, every time you saw a document or something, normally they will try to do it here first, right? All the tutorial, all the document will be based on this. If I'm not mistaken, this is used, but let me just double check. Is based on which distribution? I ingat lupa. I ingat lupa. What is it based on? It's based on Red Hat, right? It's based on Red Hat. So it's almost the same as Red Hat. But this is their own distribution. So if you're building something, right, I would recommend this. All right. Apart from that, all right, you can also have Microsoft. All right, if you need a Microsoft server, is there as well. So you have Microsoft server here. You have Microsoft server here, right? You have Microsoft server here, so it's available as well. This is recent, all right? You can have Mac as well, all right? You can have Mac as well, but you see, when you have Mac, you have to pay like freaking big, right? It's not the small Mac; it's actually the Mac Metal, right? If you know, the Mac Metal is the one that's freaking big, all right? So that's the thing. After this we will go. Yeah, after this we will go here. All right. So you will select, do everything. I know some of you like Ubuntu lah, some of you like Mojave also. Let me see. Mojave, everything is on Metal. Some of you might want to try stuff, but for this class purposes, everyone will take Amazon Linux 2 AMI. For this class purposes, everyone will take this one or take the x86. All right, once you select the Linux distribution, all right, once you select the Linux distribution, the next part is for you to select the power of your server. All right, so which one is the more, all right? If you need more power, then you go down a little bit, right? If you need more power, then you go down a little bit. If it's just for testing purposes, you can just take this one or this one. But the more you go down, the more powerful it is. And then, of course, the more powerful it is, the more expensive it is. So how do you know how much is what? All right, you use the calculator. So I have AWS calculator. This one I think I shared with you as well before cuti, not cuti, before my travel last time, my second travel. So you can always get the estimation. So let's say that I want an EC2, right? I want an EC2. The EC2 that I want is from Singapore. All right, so just put the EC2 that I want is from Singapore. And then it's based on Linux. How many VPU I want, how many ni, right? So this, and then this is T4J, and then how much is it? And then the price is 81 USD per month. Macam tipu je ni. Macam tipu. I think T2 or I think small or large is around the same price. Small or medium or large is around the same price. So when I did my fly project, I think is we take this one. When I did my file from so is normally normally if you create a website API or something, it's going to be these two, right? Rarely we have we need to get this much. Remember, some of the biggest one is actually for image processing, for things that need high processing. I think for website, these two is sufficient already. These two it's like a normal server, 8 gig of RAM. I think one project use this, another project use this. Right. But please don't choose this. All right, for you guys for this class, please choose T2, the one that's free tier eligible. So 1 VPU, 1 gig of RAM, and then you have this one is the EBS is the hard disk, right? Hard disk, external hard disk. Right? So please select this, and then we go next. All right, this is how many instances that you did. I think last time I talked about one of the questions that you get is load balancing, high availability and load balancing. So high availability is the strategy. All right, it's an SLA, and load balancing is actually one of the strategy to achieve high availability. What is load balance? You have more than one server, right? You have more than one server. So that's why they ask you, how many what do you want? So you can put one, you can put two, everything. So request port instance, I will not go in detail, but if you are interested to take the exam, that's some of the questions that they're going to ask, right? So that's so if you're just curious, what is this? Because tomorrow I will give you this. Tomorrow, for example, right, if you want, you can just go through back. You close your server, you go through back, you redo things, but at the same time, maybe you check the view as well. So if you're curious, you can look for this. What does it mean? All this also I will stop for a while. I will not go in details yet. I will not go in details yet. I think the shutdown behavior you select stop. Just make sure that this one shutdown behavior you select stop. Other than that, I think there is nothing else need to be changed on this page, right? All this is actually more complex stuff. VPC is something related to network, right? IP address and everything, right? The one that I teach last week. So
Sir,
yeah.
yang sekejap. Yang instant type tu ambil yang free tier eligible tu kan?
Free tier eligible. Nombor 2, nombor 1 tak apalah, bagi lancar. 2, okay. Takut kalau ambil nombor 1 pun tak ni kan. Alright, so ambil yang nombor 2. Alright, I'm take number 2, the one that has free tier eligible. Okay, so this page you leave it as it is, but just make sure that instant shutdown behavior is stopped. What does it mean? It means that once you stop a server, what you want it to be? Do you want it to stop or do you want to terminate? Terminate means I want the server to be deleted as well. Itu maksud shutdown behavior. Once the server is stopped, what you want it to be? You want it just to stop, or you want it to be deleted as well. If you want it to be deleted as well, you put terminate. Mana tahu kan tonight kan, you finish doing your things, your work, I will ask you to stop your server. I will teach you how to stop because I want you to stop the server. But tomorrow you want to learn about it again, then you turn it on, right? But if you don't do it like this, you do terminate. Once you stop the server will be deleted, right? Then besok kalau you want to revise, you have to redo everything back. Okay, add storage. All right, how big of memory you want? So it's external storage. So how many storage you want? So this one, okay, 8 gig, 8 gig of RAM should be sufficient, right? 8 gig of RAM should be sufficient. Okay, I think you can use this one, general purposes, just put 8 gig of RAM. If you want it to be bigger, then you make it bigger and everything. Add text normally you don't need to do anything, right? But normally people put lah, right? This is actually my production server. This is actually for this project, right? If you want, for example, this is for purpose, right? Purpose, for example, I can put for class, all right? There might be another one. Purpose is for project. Purpose is for project with client A, client B. All right, so all this is just to add tag to your server. Launch security group. So this one is quite important. This one is for you to manage the firewall of your server, the port of your server. Right, firewall is the firewall of your server. What does a firewall do? A firewall manage the port of your server. What is the port? So that's why I have this question last week. Right? So I hope you know what is a port. I will not explain it again. If I explain it again, then we will spend more time like last week. We don't do any practical. We just do talk. So later when we do Maghrib break, if you forget what a port is, you can Google lah, macam Faiz lah, Google. Alright, so we will manage the port. So what is the common port that I tell you? So we have SSH. SSH is for you to connect to your server. So to connect to your server, either you allow everyone, or for example, I say I only want myself to access the server. Right? I don't want other people to have access to it. So if you put like this, it will be more secure. Or if you put like this, it means everyone, anywhere, 000 means anyone can access to the SSH port. This one is okay. Do you know, did I mention you about the IP address change every night? Okay,
Sure.
for your information, tak ada. For your information kan, your apa macam hari ni kan, my IP address is 132.107.93. Right, but there is no chance that tomorrow my IP address will be like this. Maybe my friend dia sebelum tidur dia tutup router, he close the router. So tomorrow, once the router is open, the IP address might be different. There is no guarantee that the IP address will be the same. All right, so that's why the whatever IP address that we have here will not be the same. All right, so sebab tu kalau tak nak be, unless you buy a dedicated dedicated IP address. And TM for home package, they don't have dedicated IP address. For business package, yes, but that one also you have to pay extra. All right, so this why for that, if not, if you do like this and then suddenly tomorrow you cannot access, you know what's the reason, all right? Because IP address change every night. So untuk tak menyusahkan you all right, I don't want to make your life difficult. We just put anywhere. I know that there is a warning, all right, but you know the reason why there is a warning is because it's not secure. I was supposed to put that to only myself should be allowed. All right, then I'm going to install HTTP server. I'm going to install Apache inside the server. What is Apache port? This one also we already did last week. Apakah port Apache? What is Apache port? What number is Apache?
80 kot.
80, correct. Alright, so you have here, you look over here, alright, HTTP server, HTTP server, HTTP server, HTTP server. You will see that 80 will be there. I want everyone to be able to access the website, right? Apache host a website, so I want everyone to be able to access the website. So I will put anywhere, right? Everyone should be able to access Apache. Let's say that I want to install MySQL inside the server. What is MySQL port? Dah tengok kot. I think you go 3303. Alright, 3303. Alright, so 3303 means everyone will be able to access my SQL server if I decide to do it. Alright, so this one, alright. Other than that, this is how you control the pod. Right, this is how you control the pod. This is what we call setting up a firewall. Alright, so other than these three application, nobody will have access to this server. Right, so this is what we call setting up the firewall of a server. Once I do that, I press, okay, this one, create new security group. I think everyone will have launched wizard 42 because everyone is doing it at the same time. Later, everyone, when everyone save, then only the first one who click save will got it. So I want you to do launch wizard, but I want you to put your name, right? So that launch wizard 1mus42, for example, or you just put your name in between, so that later when everyone press save, then nobody, kalau tak, only the first one will manage to do it.
So, apa yang security group name tu letak nama
Letak nama you lah, launch wizard 1late42. Ya, 42 pun tak apa. So that nobody has the same name. If not, if everyone put launch wizard 42, then only the first one, which is me lah, normally be able to save it, and then you guys cannot save it. Okay, and then review and launch. All right, I'm happy. All right, I'm happy with my server. Before you do that, please don't sabotage me. All right, just make sure that this is moderate. This is micro. Don't sabotage me, yeah. Don't put extra large here. Last time I ada juga one intern, but what to do is an intern kan tak boleh marah kan. He actually put large over here. Oh my god, and then he didn't close the server. And imagine how much I have to pay for the server, right? At that time, I don't have. I don't have the credit. So right now I have the credit, so I don't really mind lah, right? And then you have all this. Sorry, this one is okay, but just make sure that this one is micro. All this one no issues. Just make sure that it's not 100 gig. All right. How do you check? The storage is here. It's not 8 gig. We just make sure that everything is sufficient for learning purposes, and then press launch. All right. Once you press launch, it will ask you this. All right. In order for you to connect to a server, all right, in order for you to connect to a server, you need to have a private key. Right. You have a private key. You're going to use SSH. All right. It's not using password. It's using SSH, using a private key. All right, so they will ask you, do you want to use an existing key or do you want to create a new key? So since this is the first time, all right, we do it. So banyaknya server. All right, all this I need to delete later. You're going to select, all right, I'm going to create a new key pair. All right, I'm going to create a new key pair. This one you ignore it. And then this one, for example, you put your name. So 1mus class. All right, and then you download key pair first. After you download key pair, then only you launch your instance. Right? You don't put 1mus. You put your name underscore class, and then you go next. All right. So once it's done, all right, your instance are now launching. You can go here and see the status of your instance. All right, it's going to be pending. I can see who's launching already as well. It's going to be pending. Yes.
Ada download key pair. You have to download the key pair before you can continue.
Correct. You have to download the key pair before you can continue. Alamak, I lupa lah. Once you have this, make sure that you edit your name to one Muzaffar, to your name. So before, later, right? Later, once you get the number, you will get your number tau. Alright, just make sure that you put your name so that later semua tak confuse.
Sir.
Sekejap,
yang security group tu, semua yang source semua kena letak anywhere.
Semua source letak
anywhere ke?
Anywhere. No, it's okay. Semua source letak anywhere.
Lepas tu dekat tab review tu, bila masuk tab review nak tekan apa yang ada buka pop-up tadi yang macam tadi,
Launch instance. Launch instant kot. Launch instant. Finish. Launch instant I think.
ke tekan yang button launch bawah tu?
Button launch bawah tu.
Okay.
Okay, Daniel there. Alright. Somebody have a server but rename So somebody just launch a server. Faiz. Okay, Faiz But actually key name ada. But you can just rename it here. Rename it as well. Key name. If you follow the ni, yang ni ada. But you just
Pair type ambil RSA saya.
tak apa, jangan ubah. Itu jangan ubah. I pun tak tahu RSA ke apa tapi jangan ubah.
Baru launch.
Sir, I have a question.
Yes?
So as a developer, either web or mobile apps, we should have this kind of a server to register by own. For the client.
Kalau you normally because normally web yes, app no, alright. Normally app yes. Okay, so normally web yes, normally web yes. App normally no. I think next time you will when you do app module, there is this another tool. It's called Firebase. And app might need to know Firebase. Web might not need to know Firebase. But again, your objective is the name of this course is full stack, right? So when we talk about full stack, we talk about web, app, and also back. So you have 3 roles. Yeah, I think that's a good question as well. All right, because I always ask because I never show this with you. So you can have a look at this. All right, you can have a look at this. This is what a web developer need to know. This is what a web developer need to know, what a front-end developer need to know, and what a back-end developer need to know. You will know this. All right. So since this course is about back-end, so normally back-end developer need to know all this, but somewhere dekat bawah, right? And then yeah, I takut macam terperanjat. They have to know this. No, you have to know one of this. Right? You are encouraged to know one of this, and then blue is the recommended one. Right, and once you learn about how to create an API, right, this one pun kita catching pun actually but at one point of time, you will need to know to learn about API as well, about cloud as well. Alright, I think some. Then kalau mobile, I think ada jugalah mobile also. This is the ni, alright, this is the link. So later you can check during the break as well. So kalau you buat full stack kena tahulah, right? Full stack kena tahu.
So, sir, maksudnya server tu setiap developer kena ada dia punya account sendirilah, sir.
Biasanya syarikat lah. Syarikat. Syarikat tu akan sediakan lah. If you hari tu we do Heroku, right? If you do prototype, if you do a small project, then Heroku also sufficient. This is actually if you want to go beyond Heroku. If you want to do for 100,000 of people, and then you have to have your own server.
Okay. Thank you, sir.
Okay. Okay, I need you to install something. Tak apa, if this video is recorded anyway, right, some of you might want to stop, need more time and everything. I need you to install something if you are a PC user, which is Putty, right? Which is Putty. And then I think this is the question. Oh no, the question was FileZilla. I need you to install Putty. I need you to download Putty. Right? I need you to download Putty because Putty is the one how you're going to access the server. And then after this, I will need my assistant, which is Faiz, help to launch screen as well. So you download Putty. I think that's it. Once you download Putty, you check out if you need to install, you install. If not, I think this pop-up will comes out. Once this pop-up comes out, it is successfully installed. All right. So after this, we are going inside the server. All right. We are going to inside your server, and we will use Putty to go inside the server. Right, so sebelum before we meet, download Putty first. All right. Okay. So I want to do break now. All right. I want to do break now, and I think Faiz, Wale, if you want to pray, let's do a short break. So that let's do a short break. Short break 20 minutes so that we can finish the class earlier for Raj and K7. All right. If you don't mind lah. Kita buat 20 minit ini break 7:45, right? So that around we will not finish at 10, 9 something we can finish already. 9:35, 9:45 we can finish already. Okay. Alright, so kita jumpa 7:45, 7:45. Okay, kita boleh sambung lah. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We try to, right? Kita try to finish earlier. We try to finish earlier. Okay, Walid, Faiz. Just now I said Faiz kan. Faiz, if you are there, I need you to share your screen. Kalau tak ada, kena Walid. Tapi Faiz already there. With putih ya, with putih.
Putih.
Yeah. So, putih downloaded.
Sudah.
After download, what do you have?
Ada readme kot.
Readme, and then no, you have they ask you to install something, I think. All right. Oh no. Okay, you go to your search bottom left. All right, you go to your search bottom left. Look for Puttygen first. Type the Putty, and then the first thing that you see is Puttygen. All right, so open Puttygen. So I will add the step. This is for Windows user. All right, this is for Windows user. Step number 1 is download Putty. All right, download Putty, and then look for Puttygen. Look for Puttygen. All right. What is Puttygen? Puttygen is, just now you didn't downloaded a .pem file. Okay, tadi you download a .pem file. The .pem file is the file that you're going to use to connect to the server. Right? The file is going to be used to be connected to the server. Right? When you connect to the server, there is no such thing as password anymore. Only people with the file can access the server. Right? We are not sharing password. We are sharing the file. Right? Kalau if you want your friend to access the server, then you share that file to your friend. Right? We don't share password. .pem file is for Mac and Linux. Right? It's not for Windows. It's only for Linux or Mac user. Okay. Now we are going to transform this into Windows formatted file. So that's why we have Puttygen there. So you're going to do load an existing private key file. So you nampak kan, there is a load there. And then you are going to load. Lamanya. Load. Dah load belum?
Belum.
Tekanlah. Where do you download it? You download it in downloads. And then you change Putty private key file type. You change it to all files. Alright. And then you cari Faiz class PEM. Alright. And then press open. Okay, once you do that, it will return the successfully imported foreign key. Press OK. And then you do save private key. Save private key.
Sir,
Yeah?
yang installer putih tu kena run dulu kan?
Kena run dulu kan Faiz kan? Ke tak payah run?
Kena run dulu.
Kena run dulu, you run dulu. And then press yes. Okay, that one you put over there, Faiz underscore ppk. The file type is now ppk. So you put Faiz underscore class. Same name, okay, because the end is ppk. So load an exit key file. All right, select the PEM just now. Aku punya makanan dah sampai ke? Belum lagi.
So dot apa
.pp apa? You just put Faiz D and then you select apa, because ppk already selected. Just buat Faiz class je. But make sure that the format is ppk, not pem anymore. Kan? Putty private key. And then press save.
buka putigen lepas tu tekan generate sir.
Look for load an existing key file.
Oh.
So saya baru soal lah. I just type the command. I just type the instruction. Load an existing key file. Select the PAM downloaded just now, and then ignore and then once loaded, select save private key. Ignore, alright, the warning, no paraphrase. And then number 5, you will put there, put the name, alright, put the name, double check the format is .ppk. Tunggu sekejap we wait for a while, 1 or 2 more minutes. Then kita sambung semula. Jangan ni after this satu lagi benda, which is to share, to connect to the server.
Ada cara lain ke selain putih?
Ada cara lain ke selain putih? Rasanya tak ada. This is the most known way. Maybe ada, tapi I tak tahulah sebab I not a Windows user, but most of the Windows user will do like this. Itu you punya mentor, you kena hakim so.
Yang put the name tu dekat mana sir?
Masa you tekan save private key tu. Masa you pergi save private key tu kan. Jadi dia akan letak name lah. Nama tu letak sama je.
Save, tak kisah save dekat mana-mana dulu sir?
Save kat mana-mana pun tak apa.
So yang Faiz sekarang tengah tunggu apa sir?
Tengok korang lah.
Oh.
Okay, balik lah. Okay, once done, alright, now you open putih. Alright, once done, you open putih pula. So now you search, this one putigen can close. Alright, putigen can close. Alright, now you search for putih. Alright. And then inside putih, alright, inside putih, you going to select SSH tu, you tekan tambah. On the left side, you see there is SSH, tekan tambah. And then you look, cuba tekan SSH, sorry, connection SSH not tambah, just press the word SSH. Just press the word SSH. Alright, okay. Oh my god, aku dah lupa lah benda ni. Press plus. Cuba AUTH tu tekan tambah. Press tambah on AUTH. Bukan juga ya. I think cuba tekan KEX, KEX tu. KEX kan. KEX tu key. KEX the first one.
KEX ya.
KEX bukan. Then host key. Yang host key pula. Bukan juga ya. Wait, let's try me see. Serial 10. I'm sure that it's SSH. Tekan AUTH. AUTH. I think it's AUTH. Tekan plus AUTH. Tapi dah tengok tadi kan. Alright, sorry. It's here. So, SSH AUTH. and then you put the browse, and then you look for your key just now. Alamak, aku baru nak tangkap gambar. Alright, so sikit. You look for the key just now. Okay, wait. Padahal boleh suruh Faiz tangkap gambar kan. Alright. Okay, now you browse and you look for the key just now. But Windows Mac is easier to take picture, right? Because of the kita ni je, right? You guys have to open snipping tools and everything.
Mac keyboard saja.
Mac kita pakai keyboard je.
Senang.
So cakap. Alright, and then you do put that file.
Open.
APK. Alright, once you have done that, you go back to top part, atas sekali. Alright, on the left side, you put atas sekali on the left side. You go after top, you go to session. Alright, inside session, the host name, you go back to AWS.
AWS.
You cari Faiz server, you tekan kanan, nampak kanan tu, you see on the right. Last week I talked about IP address, so that's your host name. 132.138.9254. Alright, everyone will get your own IP address. So that's Faiz punya. Copy. And then go back to putih. Copy je. And then go back to putih.
Putih.
Putih tadi. Putih ni.
Putih.
And then you paste the IP address.
Ya.
Okay. Once you do that, you just tekan save lah, tekan save. So next time tak payah pening kepala lagi. Alright, tekan save.
Tak boleh save lah.
Tak ada save. I think you have to put name. You just put name there. EC2 or something. EC2 and then tekan save. Okay, nanti next time kan, macam tomorrow you want to go back, you just select EC2 and then it will be loaded. So once you do that, you press open. Let me take a screenshot, takut orang lupa kan. It's okay, you guys cannot go to abaikan, or you just change the IP address. Alright, you just change the IP address to your IP address that you get from AWS. Don't worry Faiz, nobody can enter your server, because in order to enter your server, you need to have the key. Right? Unless if you share it with somebody, nobody else can access your server. Right? And then you press open.
Open.
And then you will have this, you will select accept.
Accept.
And then log in as EC2 user. When being asked log in as, you put that EC2 user. Sambung semua. Tak apa, ni saya tengah type. Alright, EC2-user. 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 Alright, and then tekan enter. Okay, so once you have $sign like that, you are already inside a Linux server. Okay, kita boleh bagi 5 minit. Alright, so now sambil-sambil boleh lah. Sambil-sambil you want to drink or something, kita bagi 5 minit, alright, to try C.
Saya cakap kalau yang server besar tu tak boleh Heroku, tak cukup lah.
Apa?
Kalau server, kalau website besar Heroku tak cukup lah.
Kalau website besar, normally Heroku tak cukup. Even like WordPress kan, kalau you dapat WordPress, not even like, tak semestinya dia kan. If you want to create something WordPress, even Heroku tak cukup. Yang ini pun tak cukup. Alright. The media pun tak cukup. The small tak.
Besar tu berapa user sir?
Apa?
Besar tu berapa user?
Besar 2 gig lah, 2 gig. You need at least 2 gig. Kalau 1 gig to install WordPress also tak cukup.
Kalau 100 orang tu kira small lah.
100 orang kira small. 100 orang melawat ke apa? 100. Normally we do by concurrent user lah. How many people visit at the same time. So that's how normally you define it. Okay, Faiz dah sudah dulu ya. Once you have like Faiz, then it means it's successful. Once you have that successful. Now I'm going now I'm going to annoy you guys. I'm just going to show you guys how easy it is on Mac. All right. So just now kan, I downloaded my file. All right, I'm downloaded my PAM. My PAM is inside download. All right. So I think you know, right? If you want to do CD, alright, alamak, aku tu buat apa ni? Oh shit. Up. Let's see. Let me go back. Desktop, documents, window, download this because okay. This so I do CD, I do download, so right then I inside download folder. Right, yang you all biasa susah tadi tu. Alright, first of all, I need to restrict my key. So this one, if you remember, I already teach you. Kan, CH mode ah. Remember CH mode? Hari ni today you will use a lot of Linux command eh. So CH mode 400 mouse underscore key class.pem. Alright, so that's the thing that I need to do. Then I will just do SSH minus E EC minus I one mouse class .pem ec2 dash user alias, and then I look for my IP address. My IP address is this one, and then paste it. So once I do that, I press yes. So semua yang you susah-susah buat ni, I can do it in one command.
Two step je.
Huh?
Two step saja.
That's why siapa yang ini, this is for me to show off with you guys. I think this one you ask Hakim ke anything to next week you have to come and you ask them, you ask window user, and then you update the class. Boleh ke tak buat macam ni? I think can, but you need to install something.
Oh, can eh?
I think can, but you need to install something.
Okay.
Because I will tell you lah why I think can, because there is this thing which is called Linux Bash for Windows. Linux Bash for Windows. Okay. What this allow you to do is I'm not sure boleh ke tak, I'm not sure, boleh can or not, I'm not sure. It allows you to have the same terminal, right? Normally you do CMD, right? Because CMD is different format, right? Terminal format, and CMD is terminal format, and Linux format is the same thing. That's why, alright. That's why boleh whatever that's on Unix, we can use it on Mac. But whatever that's on Windows doesn't mean that the Windows is a different format. So
kalau git bash macam mana sir?
Git bash, saya cakap git bash, it will make it to be like
Ada senang.
lah. So I think boleh, I think ban. But you have to check lah. You have to check. We check with Windows user.
Lepas dah EC2 user tu
Tekan
tekan enter, lepas tu saya ada suruh buat apa-apa ke?
tak ada. Make sure ada $sign eh.
Oh, okay. Ada.
Okay. Okay, once done. Alright, now you are on Linux. right now you are already on Linux server. Once you're already Linux server, I think even the explanation is there. So whatever that we did just now together, all the explanation is there, right? What I want you to do now, all right, what we want to do now, we are going to play around with Linux command line. We never play around with Linux command line. Did we play around with Linux command line before on the Linux server? No, tak pernah. We play with Linux command line but on datacamp. Okay. But we never play it inside a real Linux. So each of you will have a Linux server now, and then we can play around. Okay, the first thing is I want to update my Linux. Right, so this is page 30. I want to update my Linux. Macam you like when you perform Windows update, right? Right, when you perform Windows update, I want to perform Linux update. To perform Linux update, I use this command line sudo yum update -1. Right? If there is an update, you will see that something is updated. If not, then for example, in our case, everything is up to date. Okay, then I'm going to, you know what the objective is, to install the entire LAMP stack. Right, for us to discover LAMP stack together. What is LAMP? Linux, Apache, MySQL, PHP. So we already have Linux. Now I'm going to install Apache and PHP. So to install Apache, it's this one, sudo yum install -y httpd. Once I have that, this is Apache is installed. To install PHP, this is the command line, sudo amazon linux extra install y lamp mariadb. They even install mariadb PHP 7.2 and PHP 7.2. Right, so the first line is to install Apache. The second line is to install PHP.
Sir, komen di dalam slide ah.
Ada? Tapi slide lab not slide because there is a second slide. Takut you all tak jumpa sebab itu dua orang je. There is this one.
Oh, patutlah.
Okay.
Yang command Amazon Linux tu sekali juga kan?
Aja sekali.
Yang panjang tu.
Sekali je satu line ni. Satu line enter, one line enter. I order burger before maghrib, sekarang baru nak hantar. Tapi di Bali everyone don't want to cook. Everyone order burger outside. Cepat makan je.
Cuti cikgu. Esok
Itulah
cuti.
kan Allah manusia. But apa, you guys order food panda because food panda apparently ada strike kan? Or everyone don't order food panda anymore.
Dia dekat mana sir?
Grab food. Oh, ada 50% off, no wonder. 50%. Dia kata food panda sekarang orang ni kan, orang strike, jadi tak digalakkan.
Duduk servis tu tu juga.
Okay, so what is Apache already? What is Apache already?
Apache?
Apache.
Server lah.
Server lah kan. Wait a minute ah. Give me 1 second because my friend is cooking. But I will for them. Okay. Apache untuk apa?
Run PHP code lah.
Untuk run web.
Web.
Web. Doesn't mean PHP ah. PHP is one thing, but you can also run a website. Without Apache, then you cannot run a website. Alright. So it's actually a web server. Alright. It's actually a web server. Just now, what's your IP address? So remember your IP address. I put here, right? Okay, let's see. I want to see dah buka ke lah. Can I open my website? No. You put your IP address? No. The website cannot be reached. Right? Why the website cannot be reached? Because there is no web server. Right? Web server is not there. When web server is not there, then the port 80 is not accessible. Right? Actually, web server is already there, right? You install it just now. After you install it, I will turn on the server. Right? This code means I want to turn on the server. I want to allow people to access to me in port 80. To access to me in port 80. So once you open the web server, you refresh it, suddenly Apache is working. Now you can deploy a website. All right, so that's what Apache is.
Sir, you mean the web server means is host the web to the server?
Correct. You want to host a website. You have your own GitHub pages, for example. Right? So you can now every time we upload to GitHub pages, right? This time around you can have your own GitHub pages. But your GitHub pages at the moment is called 13.229.201.218 lah, right?
Okay.
But
So
web
hosting, right, sir?
Web hosting. Is web. I would say web server. Sebab web hosting kan is very small tau. When we talk about web hosting, you only talk about HTML, CSS and JavaScript. But when we talk about web server, so if you remember the first week of your class with me, I tell you that there are two kind of website. The first one is the dynamic. The first one is a static website, which is HTML, CSS and JavaScript. The second one is a dynamic website. So web hosting is normally for the HTML, CSS, JavaScript. Dynamic, if you're talking about web server, it could be for both. It could be for static and it could be for dynamic as well.
Okay, got it. Thank you, sir.
All right. Okay, everyone got this?
Saya dapat.
Got it.
Got it, yeah? So it's written there. All right. If you are a member of the general public, okay. I want before I go further and before I forget, the command line, all right, the command line that we have now is actually specifically for Linux AMI. Right, specifically for Linux AMI. If you are using Ubuntu, for example, the command line might be different. The format might be different. I don't know lah. Macam I think some of you might need to work with server. Alright. If you work with server, you ask them first. What is the distribution? Right. So whatever that I'm teaching you, or if you want to add this in your CV, you specify that. I'm using Linux. I'm using Linux. But the Linux AMI or Linux AMI distribution. Alright. Sebab nanti kalau ni suddenly you say you know Linux, why you don't know? Right. You specify that it's Linux AMI. For example, this one sudo yum update in Ubuntu, for example, is not yum, it's apt-get. Alright. Sudo yum install is apt-get. Yum is like npm but for Linux AMI, right? Not for apa Linux, but it's especially for Linux AMI.
I said sorry.
Okay.
So some they are using a Windows server, so anything that
Windows Server is using another type of server, and normally that one is called IIS, right? IIS Windows. So this is how they manage it. Unfortunately, I don't know how it works. So of course, ada orang tanya I kan, so what do you don't know? So if you want to know, so you know a lot of things. What apa benda yang you tak tahu, sir? Alright, if you want to know what I don't know, everything that has the word Microsoft, I don't know. Right? So but if you want to use Windows, normally you can. It's something like this. So this is not Apache, but it's called IIS.
so can I say the majority clients using Linux server?
Yes, majority normally is using Linux server.
Thank you, sir.
It's one of the demanded skill if you're looking for backend developer.
Thank you, sir.
Okay. I thought it's my one. Okay. I nak cepat tapi tidak Okay, next page. It's written there, right? It's already written there. Congratulations, you already installed Apache server. You may now add the content inside this folder. Alright, you may now add this content inside this server. So this is Apache on Linux AMI. Okay. If you do Apache on Ubuntu, the folder might be different. So that's why I want you to really understand that whatever that I'm teaching you is for Linux AMI. So if you're using Amazon Web Services, most probably they are using Linux AMI as well. But if you are using something else, then it might be different, right? So now I'm going inside this folder. All right, how I go inside a folder? What is the command line? So kalau you fail, you will fail all the rest of this
CD.
class. CD space and then var www.html. I rasa I ada beritahu whatever that you learn on when I ask you to do the freecodecamp, you will do it later at the end. So now I'm here. All right, now I'm here. How do I check what is inside the folder?
LS.
LS kan hari tu kita belajar kan. Tiba-tiba I teringat cerita Prince of Persia tu, the one that I say, oh dulu nak main game sekarang nak set, right? Okay, so there, so one is CD, one is LS. Now, welcome to Vim group. I'm going to teach you how to create a file inside this server. I'm going to create a file, and that file is called index.html, and I'm going to write it directly from here. Minggu pertama, right, the first week I tell you, the first week I remind you, you need to learn your command line. Why you need to learn your command line? Because here, for example, as a developer that's managing a server, I have to manage everything using a command line. Kalau if I pakai Linux, now I want to open subline on Linux. Unfortunately, there is no subline on Linux. There is no GUI, graphical user interface on Linux. Everything needs to be done in command line. So now I'm going to open subline, all right, on Linux. All right, the subline on Linux is called Vim. All right, Vim is the command line text editor that we are going to use if you need to create or edit a file in a server. I want to create a new file, and that file is called index.html. So I want to create a new file, and that file is called index.html. So how do you do it? You type the command line sudo vim index.html. Right, this is your sublime on Linux. So once you do that, I want just to do a simple hello world lah. But you type tak jadi apa. Alright, you type tak jadi apa. Alright, to begin typing, you will type I. Alright, to start typing, you will press I. Means insert. I want to type something. I want to change to insertion mode. Okay, so okay, so I will type I. All right, I will type I. Then once I type I, then only I can type. All right, then only I can type. If I want to go out from the insertion mode, I will type escape. All right, then this is going out of insertion mode. So insertion mode I. All right. And then going out of insertion mode, type escape. All right, now I cannot edit it anymore. All right, I escape. All right. So I want you to do a simple hello world. All right, I want you to do a simple hello world.
Sir, yang lepas dah masuk bar www.html tu kan? Kan kena tekan ls kan?
Kena tekan ls, betul?
Tapi lepas saya dah ls, dia macam tak ada keluar apa-apa.
Dia malas sebab tak ada file lagi.
So buat yang ni,
Buat
Vim
kan? My first website. And then dekat sini I buat body. Alright, this is your module 1 tak ada apa. We just do your module 1. Body, and then you have H1. Alright, H1. My first website. And then I put here P. Alright, my first website using Vim. I love it. I love Vim. So once done, tekan escape. Once done, tekan.
So yang dekat insert tu hujung dia memang ada tunjuk nombor-nombor.
Dekat hujung je ya. Memang ada nombor-nombor. Ada. Insert. Nombor-nombor.
Tu.
Betul lah, ini apa line 9 kolom 1. Right. That's what it means. Okay, once you do that, once done, you press escape. Alright, once you press escape, you will not be able to type anymore, which means you are on menu mode. To save and exit, alright, to save and exit Vim, type 2 titik colon, alright, WQ exclamation mark. Once you do that, that's it. Alright. You refresh the page. You refresh your website just now 18 tadi. Banyak, what's my IP address? You refresh your IP address tadi just now I remind you guys 13. I remind you guys. Alright. Then you have your first website. And let's say that I want to add another paragraph here. All right, let's say that I want to add another paragraph here. All right, I will just do sudo vim index.html. Tekan atas, sudo vim index.html. I open and then I can just move my cursor, or I can just move my cursor, and then I press insert. All right, I press insert. All right, and then macam biasa lah, you just do like that. And then tambah sini, alright, tambah P, alright, P, tambah P, alright. Wow, alright. Editing the website now, wait, the website now. Alright, escape, double dot, 2 titik WQ exclamation mark, titik WQ exclamation mark. Alright, so then refresh, and it's going to be there. Okay, once you do that, I have a soalan that I have a question that might be asked on who wants to be a millionaire. The question is, untuk RM1,000, what is the most questions being asked in Stack Overflow? Soalan apakah yang paling banyak ditanya in Stack Overflow? Double tu kambing, tu oblong. Tak, I don't want oblong. Oblong. I don't want oblong.
Ni oblong.
I don't want oblong. This is double. Nama kambing tu tau. So what is the questions that being asked the most in Stack Overflow? Betul ke? Untuk RM1,000, soalan yang paling banyak ditanya di Stack Overflow.
How to center a div.
No. Ada siapa-siapa siapa-siapa mau cuba untuk sate kajang.
Pasal komen lah. Pasal komen bila buat BIM lah.
Something about what we are looking at the moment. Oh, is it ah? Okay lah, okay. Bila I Google balik macam bukan, no. Bila I Google balik macam bukan. But I know that this is one of the most, at least not for this year, alright. Tapi lah, at least not for this year, but it was one of the most question asked. The question is how to exit Vim. That's the most common question asked in Stack Overflow. Not is being up for, it's being viewed by 2.5 million people. How to exit Vim, most asked question. I'm sure that.
Oh ya, saya pernah tanya dulu.
So actually at least in 2017 lah, at least this is on 2017 there is this question hit a major milestone, right? 1 million. This is the first questions that 1 million people look for it, right? Look for the answer, right? So the question is how to exit Vim. Itu lah. So how to exit Vim, multiple, right? So it was last time it was I think let me rephrase. This is the question should be, this is the first questions that hit 1 million, right, view, but now it's being viewed by 2.5 million times, right? So this is the most asked question. Not the most asked question, sorry, the most viewed question in freecodecamp, in Stack Overflow at one time. You pun pernah tanya saya?
Masa reactnative dulu kot.
Okay, masa reactnative. Okay, right.
Kau tak silap lah.
I see the website and everything. Okay, so once we have that, so what we're going to do now, alright, so we already have normal HTML. We already have normal HTML. Kenapa macam hilang ni? Something. Macam ada benda hilang lah. Okay. I'm not sure if I think I need to do this first, or I think I need to do this first. This is needed for later, alright. This is needed for later. We will set up a permission, alright. So we will add a new user group, right? We will add a new user group. This is later because I want to use WordPress after this. Before we download WordPress, I want to add a new user group. So I will do sudo group at www, right? Sudo group at www. This one, I want to add a new user. EC2 user should be able to access, will be inside www user group, and then press exit. Right? Just follow this one. This is actually after this, right? For WordPress. Once I do that, reconnect to the server, right? Double check that the groups are there. Double check, and then this one ch own means I want this user group, right, to be able to edit var www folder. One complex a little bit. I want to change the permission of var www to 2755. This one we already did, right? The explanation. Kalau lupa, this is the homework for tomorrow. What does 775 means? Alright. I want this one I think just for verification. Alright, so just run the next command line. This is actually preparation to set up permission because after this we're going to install WordPress inside the folder.
Sir, saya terkeluar daripada apa tu? Command
Memanglah.
line lah.
Memanglah sebab bila you tekan ni, you akan terkeluar. Dia macam restart the server. Jadi reconnect back to your server, just tekan je balik tu.
Tekan putih.
Tekan putih.
So, buat je kan command semua yang bawah reconnect your server tu kan.
Buat je. Dia punya ni the idea is to set up permission later. Okay, so CH mode is important. Alright, CH mode is important. CH on is important. So try ingat balik. Alright, so this one is maybe for ni review homework. How does CH mode works? Alright, how does CH mode works? How does CH on works? Alright, you see the word 775 just now. So for example, what is 775? Alright, and then before this, I use it in my terminal 400 to try to find out what does the number means. We have done if you have done data camp exercise that I share with you, it was explained there. Okay, so once you do that, okay, normally I will do this first, right? Normally I will do this first, but I'm not sure kita sempat ke tak because I plan to finish the class earlier as well for our friends, for K7 at least. This one we skip first sebab if you open RDS is actually quite expensive. And then let's say that kita tak sempat habis kan. And then it will cost me a little bit money lah. Don't pay, but it will cost money a little bit. So let's do it. Let's see. Kalau kita sempat kita buat lagi. If not, we will do this first. Right? We will jump to here. Alright. We will jump to page 50. Inside page 50, There you will have cd var www and everything. This is also another configuration for WordPress. I have to install this sudo yum -y install and then locate php.ini. Right, just make sure that I have this. Okay, now we're going to download WordPress. We have seen together as well what WordPress is.
Sesudah yang update tu run juga sir?
Run juga. Okay, so what is WordPress? WordPress is what we call a content management system or content management system. What is a content management system? It's a website that will allow you is a website that you can use, all right, to create another website easily, right? That's what the content management system is. So for example, right, WordPress, once you do WordPress, macam Wix lah, right? A little bit like Wix. Wix is more drag and drop, right? Wix is more drag and drop, but Wix normally is for corporate website, okay lah. And some more, if you want to remove if you want to remove the DOM things and everything, then you have to pay a little bit. That's the problem with Wix, right? Then you have WordPress, all right? Most of the corporate website is actually being built by WordPress. I read somewhere 40% of the 42% of the website in the world is built using WordPress. So sometimes you thought that, oh, no, WordPress is just for no. Some of the most powerful website also is built using WordPress. So if you have WordPress and then you can integrate WordPress with a lot of plugin. If you integrate WordPress with WooCommerce, for example, which is an e-commerce plugin, you can create a powerful website. I don't teach WordPress, right? I don't teach WordPress, but I encourage you to learn WordPress by yourself. If you're looking for a job, especially kan, in the end kan, there are two kind of people, but there are two kind of WordPress itself is already another path, right? WordPress itself is another path. So you have full stack path, or you have front end path just now. You have back end path, and then you have mobile app path, and then you have WordPress path. So if you want to learn WordPress, to learn WordPress also is a lot, right? Is a lot. Oh, somebody give WordPress class in Malay. Jom.
Your idea is waiting to be seen. Put it all on display with a beautiful.
Itu saja. Nanti kat sini orang block hubungi kami kan. So kita pergi ke bahagian kategori.
Okay. So if you want, alright. Somebody, who's this girl? So kenal? Banyak kenal? Banyak je ni mana ya? Semua ada pembinaan dia. Okay. So if you want, alright, you can try to learn by yourself, or you can try to learn by yourself. And then I encourage, but for you guys yang dah ambil 3 modul, for those who take 3 module, normally it's okay. You want to learn, you don't want to learn, it's okay. But for those our friends, they only take 1 module kan, especially the one that's sponsored by Pekeso. For them also normally I encourage to learn WordPress. Right. So this is how we're going to install WordPress in our system. All right. You will do sudo wget https wordpress.org/latest. This is to download WordPress. Sudo wget means download WordPress. Make sure that you are inside HTML folder. Right, make sure that you are inside HTML folder, because I think the last command line that you need to do is cd var www.html. Right, if you are not, then you have to run this command line. This is actually download from the URL. All right, just now yum is downloaded from yum. Sudo wget is downloaded from a website address that I gave. Then once I do that, it will download WordPress. If I do ls, I will have two files. The first one is index.html, the second one is latest.zip. After that, this is the command line to unzip the latest.zip file. So sudo unzip latest.zip ls, then you will see that I have three files. The first one is index.html, the second one is latest.zip, the third one is WordPress. What does this command do? This one kena tahu what does this command do? Yang ini kalau ada exam, dia akan masuk exam. Because this is one of the basic command in Linux.
Move ke?
Move, alright. I'm going to move. Baca kot, alright. I'm going to whatever that is inside WordPress. I'm going to, the star means everything that is inside. Dari from WordPress folder, star means everything. I want to pindahkan. I want to copy paste and I want to put it inside this folder. Right? So sudo mv WordPress /star. I want to put it inside the current folder. Once I do that, I do ls, then you have all the files there. Okay. Then I'm going to remove remove the zip just now. So sudo rm remove latest.zip. Sudo rm remove dir. So sudo rm dir WordPress. So remove the WordPress directory. I will also remove index.html, the one that we do for fun just now. So sudo how to rename how to rename? I don't want to remove, I want to rename. I don't want it to be index.html. I want it to be, for example, index.html.bak, backup, right? Backup. So how to rename that to index.html to something else? Ini pun soalan datanya.
Pakai MV juga kot.
Pakai MV tu, right? Pakai MV juga. So MV index.html. I want to do MV index.html.bak. Alright, so I will rename index.html to index.html.bak. Why I rename it? Because I not confused, right? When I open the browser, right? If they say if the server say HTML index here, they don't know what to do, right? But normally now they will open index.php. So once you do that, if everything is okay, you open back your file, you refresh, they will ask you, WordPress is already installed. Let's set up our server. So once you have that, we will go to the next topic, the last topic for tonight, which is to set up the database. Ingat ada masa ni. We still have time, alright, to set up the database. Once we set up the database, we will connect it to WordPress. You will have WordPress there. Alright, make sure that you have this page. Okay, let me know first. Saya sampai-sampai tu saya nak mengunyah sikit. So I will just once you done, you let me know. Okay, sorry ya. Settle lah. Oh. Sudah ada mercun already started to berdentum. Alright, last topic. Database. So now, this is once you have done, what we are doing now is WordPress configuration. So WordPress, in order for you, to use WordPress, you need to link this website to a database, because that's how WordPress will work. Alright, WordPress stores data, all your blog, all your news, all your pages is stored inside a database. Ini kalau like I said, WordPress is actually a long path. If you want to learn in detail, it's another path, or you have to learn PHP and everything. So that's WordPress, right? So here, right, they will ask you, right, what is your database name? They will ask you for this information. You might not have that information yet, right? You don't have a database. So that's why I'm going to teach you how to create a database using this time around RDS. All right, so now you look for RDS. Under RDS, ada orang ada DB. Shit, whose DB is this? This is my database. Wait, I'm curious who's the tak apalah, later I check. Alright, so now once you arrive here, you are going to create a database. You're going to create a database. The database, right? These are all the database available, right? But normally for WordPress, LAMP, Linux, Apache, MySQL. So you will use MySQL. MySQL community, this one you need. This one, jaga-jaga. This one, you have to make sure that you select free, jangan select production, because this thing is very expensive. And then this one, for example, you can put here database class. OneMoose database class. Master username, because later they will ask you the username and password, so you remember this one. The master username will be admin. Password, you just put ABCD1234. I think it will be fine as well. ABCD1234. This one also ABCD1234 also will be fine. Alright, micro okay. Alright, this one small. Storage 20 gig also is okay. This one I think. No worries. This one no worries. This one I think should be fine as well. Okay, this one, all right. This one you turn on public access, right? You turn on public access, yes. Which means that everyone can have access to this, right? Because we want WordPress to have access to this database. So you change this, turn on public access. This one I don't think you need anything. All right, this one you don't need anything. And then I think that's it, right? So if I recap, just you change MySQL community, make sure that this is free tier. Right, And then the settings, right? This is your database identifier, username and password, right? Make sure that it's something that you remember. Everything else is okay, all right? And then just make sure that this is available publicly. Once you have all that, you press create database. Macam tadi, just like just now, wait for a while until you have your database. So while you're waiting for a while, I'm curious to know whose database is it, because if not, I'm paying for this. Might be from class and I forget to close it. Let me check whose database is this. I don't know. 23. I don't know whose. I don't know. I don't know what's the password and everything. I see. I think nobody is using this database. Okay, let me close it. Let me close it, because if I think I'm paying for database. Okay, this one will take a while. Take some time to create a new server. Still creating. Okay, so refresh, alright, refresh. So once done, backing up, stopping, creating, siapa yang ada? Although it take a while. Okay, everyone, okay, kita tengok siapa yang kena. So once I have that, alright, once I have this, lambatnya, alright, lambatnya, status backing up. Tengah tengok jalan jadi ke tak. Up. Unable to refresh balik. Refresh balik. Up. What's the status? Backing up. Okay, available. Should be fine already. So one most database class. This is my URL. Username admin connect. Apa tak boleh? Connect. Should be okay. I'm checking this one. Everyone got, yeah? Everyone available already. Let me try one more time. So publicly available. Alright, everyone should be able to access to it. Okay, so this is a instance monitoring connectivity. I'm sure that this is the URL. So this is the URL RTS admin. Tadi admin, right? Our username is admin, right? You can correct, confirm. Test connection. Kenapa? What else? Publicly available? Yes. This one, yes. Inbound rules, edit inbound rules. Inbound rules, edit inbound rules. Something is this one. Inbound rules. Inbound rules. Macam ada problem dekat sini. There is one problem here. Security group rules. Yeah, I'm trying to see. Just now sebab one of the thing tu I rasa macam silap ambil. That's why I cannot access to read. So let me see if I go to it. This one is different. SGR security group. Security group ID. Security group ID. Clear filter. Mana? Where was it? Website. Okay, so one more time. So RDS. Okay, URL is okay. Username is admin. Password is ABCD1234. And then press connect. Still have an issue. Silap URL. Let me see. Configuration. OneMost database class. Encryption. License. Image resource. Default MySQL. Not enable. Metadata and backup. Unable to connect. Unable to connect to RDS. Or is it this one? Easy to security go in on. SG3445. You can check network coverage there. Accessibility. Okay, mana? Something is not really VPC security group. Ini ni, I'm not sure what to put. Inbound groups. Okay, let me try. Okay, for some reason, alright, I missed something just now. Ada benda yang I kena buat. I have to allow. Just now I cannot access the server. After I do that thing, then only I'm able to do it. I will just do it for you guys. I will just do it for you guys. So I don't know what is it. I tak ingat which step I missed. So Daniel is there, right? Is because just now it was blocking me to access it, right? It was blocking me to access it. Oh, Daniel dah ada. Daniel punya ada inbound 000. Okay. So once I do for one person, everyone have it, right? Because everyone is selecting the same inbound group, right? So same thing as well. Now everyone can have access to our server, right? I double check. I double check for you. Alright, I'll double check for you. So, for example, this is your database URL. Alright, the username admin. I trust the username admin, and then this is the password ABCD1234. Alright, so now I should be able to connect to Faiz database. I will add a database for Faiz, which is called WordPress, because what you data create a WordPress add database WordPress. I boleh connect. Okay, database exists, right? The one done already. I will do for Daniel as well. Alright, because normally, right? Normally, what you should do, alright, what you should do is you should download Heidi SQL, right? Heidi SQL or SQL Yoke, right? You should download this. This will allow you to connect to your database, right? This will allow you to connect your database. Once you this is how you connect to your database, right? Macam-macam I buat lah, macam just like how I did just now. But mine on Mac is called SQL Pro or SQL Pro. So what I want to do once I connect to my database, right? Now I do for Daniel. Once I connect to my database, username admin ABCD1234. I press connect. I want to create a new database. That database is called WordPress, and this is the database that we're going to do for the next part of this project. All right. So Daniel done, and I'm going to do mine. All right. If you want to do this, right, you can do like what I did, but your software is called SQL Yoke. Right. So your software is called SQL Yoke. Macam because it's Deepavali night, I'm trying to like cut things. So that's why I will help you to do it, right? So now I'm doing mine, and then once we do that, we will have all of us will have a database. Ni pun I tak tahu kenapa. Okay, so once I do that, we are going to add this information into our WordPress just now. Right? We have our WordPress page, which is here. All right, we have the database name is WordPress. Username is admin. Password is ABCD1234. And then the database host is your database address where you can find here. Right, so you look for your database, you look for your database address, and then you will find your database address here. Once you do this, press submit. This come out. What does it mean? Unable to write to wp-config.php. You can create the wp-config PHP file manually and paste the following text into it. So tak apalah, right? We just copy this. How do you create a wp-config file? You do vim sudo vim wp-config.php.
Sir, masa buat isi WordPress punya field tu, yang address tu letak kat data host database host.
Database betul, DB host, database host.
Lepas tu table prefix tu letak apa?
letak table break biarkan jadi apa WP underscore.
Okay.
Okay, and then you will have this you will have this file. Buat dekat dalam Vim, alright, paste it in Vim. Once you paste it in Vim, double dot WQ exclamation mark. Alright, sudo vim.php, paste the thing, right? And then once done, sudo double dot sudo vim.php, paste exclamation mark WQ, dua titik exclamation mark, and then run the installation. Once you run the installation, that's it. WordPress is installed. Once WordPress is installed, you can add information. So what is your website name? Your website name is, for example, I want to upgrade anak to you, new anak to you website. All right, username. This is WordPress username and password. I will just do the same thing like admin abcd1234, all right, and then confirm use weak password. I will just do, for example, this one, and then press install WordPress. Once I have that, log in. Okay, boleh cuba. Alright, just try first. I want to see one more thing. So you try first, you customize everything. I want to see one more thing, so that at least you can do WordPress as well. Alright, I want to see one more thing else. WordPress as well. So you just ignore me and continue with the step.
Sir.
Yes.
Saya rasa saya mungkin ada ni lah, sir.
Ada apa?
Masalah sikit.
Tersalah sikit. Rasanya apa tu? Boleh share.
Okay, saya share.
Okay.
Sekejap. Share content. Okay. Ini Vim kan? Sudo Vim kan? Betul?
Betul.
Okay. Lepas tu saya paste lah.
Okay, betul.
Lepas paste, saya save.
Okay, double dot WQ exclamation mark.
Yang tu saya dah buat dah.
Okay.
WQ exclamation mark. Okay.
Okay. And then pergi balik kat belakang, submit, tekan submit.
Yang ni saya refresh balik page dia.
Oh, refresh balik, ni je balik. Isi je balik maklumat tu.
Isi balik maklumat dia. Admin. ABCD 1 2 3 4 submit.
Submit. Okay. Kita buatlah run the installation terus.
Dia pergi balik kat sini, sir.
Okay, dia pergi balik kat situ. Dah tahu. Pergi balik, let's go sekali lagi.
Let's go.
Username admin.
Admin.
Password ABCD1234, betul ya?
4.
And then database host tu tengok paste. And then WP submit. Alright, copy this file. Copy this.
Copy.
Copy. Okay, pergi balik.
Vim
pergi balik Vim, pergi balik server.
Okay, sudo balik lah.
Correct. Sudo vim, bukan index.html.
Allah.
Sudo vim wp config.html.
Allah.
wp-config.php. wp-config.php. Lagi ni wp-config.php. Boleh cuba?
Bukan HTML lah.
Bukan HTML. wp-config.php.
Okay.
Alright. I'm trying something as well.
Okay, lepas.
Ya? Okay, cuba lagi. Next.
Yang site title semua ni kita sendirilah, boleh.
Sendiri, itu you punya website.
Nice.
Alright, cuba. I'm trying to look for one problem, alright, because I know what the problem is and I can't remember what is it.
Lepas habis tekan install WordPress.
Install WordPress.
Yang search engine visibility tu?
Search engine visibility, tekan tick boleh tak? Tekan tick pun boleh. Okay, once you do that, you should be logged into WordPress. Boleh cuba, macam nanti Faiz saja. Alright, once you do that, you should be logged into WordPress. I know that there is a bug there. There is a configuration problem. Okay, this is how it works. So this is how it works. If you want to create a new page in WordPress, alright, if you want to create a new page, you just create a new page. And then you can put, for example, the title is main page. And then you can add a new block. All right, I want to have, right? I want to have heading. All right, my new page or something. And then I want to add, for example, an image or something. All right, but I think I missed a step. All right, I think I missed a step. That step is to add this command line. All right, sudo chmod -r777 wp content. And then I don't think this is the correct step. But for now we do that first. If nanti Kesavan cannot celebrate Deepavali, Merchant pun dah berbunyi. Alright, so you add this first. Once you add this, alright, then you can try to upload a picture. Alright, just make sure that you can upload a picture first, because if I don't do that just now, while you are trying, actually I tried to upload the picture, it was not working. Alright, so I need to add that command line, then only it's working. Right, and then you can add. You can try lah, right? If you want to add a paragraph. Sorry. If you want, you can add paragraph. Alright, you can inside paragraph. You can write lah, hello, this is my first website or something. Once you done, you press publish. Alright, this is your URL. This is my URL /main, right? /main page, and then you can see it. This is just an introduction to WordPress, right? This is just introduction to WordPress. You have more things, right? You have more things. For example, you have a lot of things to discover. So that's why I say, by hook or by crook, I need this to be finished today. You can, for example, change the themes, right? You can, example, change the theme. You don't like this theme, you go here, or you can look for a new themes. For example, you might want this style, you install this style, and then To perform web to access your server. Alamak, susahnya. This one. WP config. Where was it? WP admin. Buat macam ni dululah. Right. Maybe buat macam ni dululah, right? This is not really it, but I want to finish. Sebenarnya I kena Google lagi, right? I kena Google lagi. Just add this. Alright, so that tadi I want you guys to be able to play. Alright, so once I do that command line, normally if I refresh, alright, I press install. Kenapa ni? Normally should be fine. So do search more. Alright, so cd html. Alright, and then press preview, and then I press install. What happened? Banyak pula bug nak habis ni.
Sir, kalau dah publish page, mana kita nak tengok
Kalau nak publish page, you tengok preview. Ada macam preview atas tu.
Kalau dah tekan publish?
Dah tekan publish, dia memang akan ada URL. What is the name? Yeah. Okay, this one kan? This one, right? This one, page. You tekan view here. Tekan view.
Oh, itu je punya preview lah.
Itu kalau you publish, that's it lah. That's your URL.
Oh.
Okay, baik saya try tengok satu lagi benda sebab I just want you guys to be able to do something. Vim wp sudo vim wp config.php. Okay, we do dashboard. We do change your theme. I will add a new theme. Theme. Cepat sekali lagi. Ya Allah yang terku. Where was it just now? Appearance theme. Add a new theme. I might want Astra install. Okay. One more line to yang ini kan yang I buat ni berterabur tau. Whatever that I did berterabur. I'm sorry for that, but I just want you to have the WordPress. It's not really secure, right? If secure is not exactly like this, it has to be certain folder. So you do this, all right? Once you do this, you will do sudo vim wp config.php. So sudo vim wp config.php. Once you do that, you will add this one line, right? You will add this one line at the bottom also can. And then as usual, WQ exclamation mark. Once you do that, you can also change the theme. Right, so for example, I want this theme. I don't want the 2020 buruk tu. I want this theme. I activate it. All right. Once I activate it, all right. So then you can play around with this, for example. All right. So your page, edit. All right. Then you see that the theme change, background putih, and then you want to add new patterns. Right. Add blocks. Or something. All right. You discover, yeah. I don't teach you this, but you can try discover it. All right. Create a new page. How to create a new page, add a new block, browse all, what's there, patterns pun satu je. I want a column. This here, sorry. I want to have a gallery, alright, I want to have a columns. Alright, so let's say that I want this kind of page and I want to add Then I want to add another pattern, for example. I want to add something else. All right, I want to add browse all. I want to have text. All right, 3 columns. All right, so then you cuba lah, you try play around for the next 2-3 days. You do this, and then on Friday also you can still play around on this as well. Kalau siapa berminat, whoever interested, look for Elementor. I think Elementor free code camp. Alright, so maybe this Friday you do this. Maybe this Friday you can do this. Yeah, you have free. You have this one ada coding, right? So we don't want with coding. Maybe right. Maybe try to follow up something that's related to Elementor.
Enterprise architects.
In this I give this as a homework.
Right.
So you
makes
just
it
follow
really
this guide,
fast.
and then see you can create nice website using Elementor. The Elementor is one of the teams. Elementor is one of the teams. Okay, any questions? Yang WordPress part you discover. I give you WordPress, and then you discover over the week, and also over the week, right? Ada apa soalan? Anyone? Semua berjaya WordPress actually. Okay, I can check your I can check your IP address because I have it. Okay, if there is nothing else, I will not hold Kesavan any longer. All right. So you play around with WordPress. We're going to look for some. We're going to look a little bit more AWS, S3 and everything. And then that's we will do module 3 for those who continue. We will do module 3.